Well, hello to everybody. Here it's Teresa Sanderson. Super excited to connect with you today as we talk about the nursing retention crisis and how nurses can take back control. All right, so I'm very excited to dive into this content with you today. And because now I think more than ever, nurses have a sense of many times feeling powerlessness in their circumstances with employment. So I believe it's important, and right now is the time for nurses to take back control of their career path. Okay, so the nursing retention crisis, we all know that it's going on. In all honesty, though, as a nurse for 34 plus years, the nursing retention crisis, the staffing crisis was happening when I first began my career all those years ago. And here we are now in 2025, and we've still got the struggle going on. So the nursing retention crisis doesn't have anything to do with lack of dedication among nurses. Instead, it's more of a failure of the system to support them. Hear me clearly on that. You will never hear me say that nurses are not committed enough to their role or to their profession, and that's why they're just quitting. No. 33% of new graduate nurses are hanging up their RN license and choosing to do anything but nursing for the rest of their careers. And that is a staggering number, and it is a significant symptom of a broken system. Wouldn't you agree? So solutions are available to address the nursing retention crisis, our staffing crisis, but we really need to understand why nurses are leaving the profession. We need to talk about how we can create sustainability in nursing careers and also allow nurses to take back control of their careers. So 3 prongs that we're going to discuss today. So first of all, and I believe we all know that burnout, chronic exhaustion, overwhelm, these things are leading nurses to leave the profession. It's an interesting thing that's going on in nursing because nurses want to practice with excellence, right? I don't believe a nurse steps into the workplace on any particular unit and believes that, hey, today's the day I choose to get myself sued, right? I don't think that happens. I believe that nurses step into their workspace with a desire to serve their patients at the highest level and perhaps are given an unsafe patient load. Okay, so I think we need to look at things like this, and then certainly we need to look at hospital and organizational systems that may fail nurses and force them into doing workaround type situations, which in fact many times are endorsed by others in the healthcare organization, even in leadership, saying, no, just go work around it, do this or do that, when in all actuality, the system was set up in the first place to keep nurses safe. So we have to look at burnout and chronic exhaustion and really the root causes of those things. What is really causing that? Yes, chronic short staffing is an issue, but also when nurses desire to perform at an optimal level and they're given an unsafe patient load, they have conflicting tasks or challenges in front of them, right? One is perform at a high level. The other is take care of as many as best as you can. And that's very, very different than practicing with excellence. So that in itself is very stressful and can lead to burnout. Staffing shortages, inadequate leadership support. We've talked about this. And again, I will say loud and clear that the nursing leadership role, that especially the frontline nurse leader who is maybe a unit manager, a department manager, they've been set up to fail because they're constantly pulled out of their roles to fill in staffing gaps. And when we do that, they're unable to lead. So if we're doing that to them, we cannot fault them for not being able to lead. But again, it's a symptom of our broken system, of a role that was set up incorrectly that needs to be revised. If we place a nurse in a leadership role, they should be able to lead, period, end of story. Okay? And we also need to train them in leadership skills. If we truly want them to lead and lead at the top, of their license, to the most highest level of excellence that they can achieve, then we need to give them training and tools that they can put into action. It's not enough just to say, hey, you've been on the unit the longest, now you're the manager. That doesn't do it. So our leaders also need support and they need opportunities to develop. And our high level leadership in the C-suite needs to come down and visit with their leaders and their nursing teams and know and understand what's going on in the units in real time. Now, nurses also face limited career growth and financial instability. And so I'm hearing more and more about career growth options that nurses really want to take advantage of. And maybe even if it's just moving to another department, perhaps within their organization, but that may be put on hold because of the staffing demands of their current unit. So when nurses are not given that kind of ability to move within the organization, they're going to look for it someplace else. And so what happens is organizations are losing nurses who may desire to just work in a different location or a different unit within their particular facility or organization. But if that is denied for whatever reason, or it's unattainable and the nurse can't understand why, then they may opt to go someplace else. So we really need to look at that. Financial stability is also important to nurses. However, I am hearing from nurses more and more every single day that they're saying, you know what, no amount of money will justify me working in these conditions. Okay, so yes, are nurses, do they need to be paid what they're worth? Absolutely. Is it going to fix everything? Even if we gave them a $50 an hour raise, would that fix all of the things that are fundamentally wrong with the healthcare system that they're enduring every single day? It will not. It will not. We will continue to have the same level of turnover. Okay. So how can an individual nurse then create a sustainable career? Because I met with nursing students recently at a job fair, and it was so inspiring to see them just starry-eyed. They're so excited talking about the units that they're going to be joining and the things that they want to do in nursing. Yet I know, and I shared with them, you need to be aware that 33% of new graduate nurses, just like you, are choosing to abandon their license after just 2 years in the workforce. I don't want that to be you. It was a beautiful conversation, and to be able to connect them to the idea that you need to find yourself a community. You need to find yourself a community that supports you in growing both personally and professionally as a nurse, so that you can thrive in your profession and in life. And it was a beautiful experience for the nursing students to say, oh my gosh, thank you for telling us this. Thank you for letting us know that these resources are here, and that we have something that we can do. If we start to feel burnout, if we start to feel overwhelmed, we have things that we can do. Professional community is so much more than an organization that you pay dues to, okay? A nursing community that supports nurses in growing both personally and professionally is something that we've not yet had, but it's what nurses are saying they want. And that's why we are bringing Thriving Nurse Network to reality in March. And I'm super excited about that. But a supportive professional community can be all the difference in a nurse staying in the game for the long haul and having a sustainable career and not. Okay. Expand career opportunities beyond the bedside. Nurses are innovators. They're solution finders. They are excellent entrepreneurs. And I don't believe that entrepreneur roles need to conflict with employment within the traditional healthcare setting. There is no competition here. This is a nurse saying, I have a creative aspect of my brain that I would also like to utilize. I see things that need fixing and I would like to go fix them. We need to embrace the ingenuity and industriousness of nurses as innovators. And we need to embrace that. Can they be intrapreneurs within the healthcare system? Yes, they can. And if that suits them, that's perfect. But if they want more, that should be okay too. That should be okay too. Absolutely. So, improving workplace conditions to enhance retention. We've got to clean the house. I will scream this from the rooftops until we finally get it done. We cannot continue to bring new nurses into the same toxic environments that others are leaving. We cannot do it. It is a recipe for disaster, and it will never work. We've got to make a commitment to cleaning up nursing culture to one where from one where nurses eat their young to one where nurses feed their young. We've got to make that commitment and that transformation once and for all. And lastly, how can nurses take control of their careers? First of all, nurses need to evaluate their current work environment and make sure that it supports their long-term personal and professional goals. If not, then it's time to explore other opportunities that may be more suitable for you. And one of the things that I advise nurses and nurse entrepreneurs to do is decide first on the type of lifestyle that you want or need to be living at this stage of your life. Do our situations in life change in stages? Yes, they do. Sometimes you might be single, then you might be married, or you might have a child, or you might have aging parents. Do you see what I mean? At different times in our life, our needs may change. So what type of lifestyle do you need right now that's going to support you personally and professionally? See what I'm saying? So decide on that first, and then from that perspective, decide, well, if I need to do work some type of a shift somewhere, what shift would fit best into the lifestyle that I want to lead? Does it mean that I need a Monday through Friday type job? Or does it mean that I can work the night shift? Or maybe night shift would never work in this situation, or even one of the weekend only roles. But think clearly about the type of lifestyle that you want to be leading, and then fit your career into that. That will eliminate so much conflict and struggle and challenge in your life. Now, the next thing, invest in professional development, leadership training, invest in yourself. Be willing to find yourself a supportive community, and invest in your own personal and professional growth, because, you know, we are holistic creatures. So we need to grow personally and we need to grow professionally as well. But be willing to invest in your own personal development and your own professional development as well. Get yourself trained in leadership, master communication strategies, learn emotional intelligence, all these things that can help you. They will help you so very much in your career. And finally, you know, the last thing is, a community is going to be the difference between quitting after a few years in nursing, or being perpetually unhappy or dissatisfied in your nursing career, and being able to feel supported in making positive changes and sustain your career for the long haul. I learned all of this on my own over the last 34 years, how to survive and thrive in nursing. And I do things so much differently now than I did in the early days. But the future of nursing does depend on sustainable careers. Sustainable careers. And nurses, again, are not leaving the workforce because of any lack of commitment. It's that the current conditions make their roles and our profession unsustainable. So I want to encourage you to click the link below this video. Sign up now to get on the priority notification list for our Thriving Nurse Network community that's going to be launching very, very soon. You'll be the first to know about it. And there are many special things that will happen for folks who are on that priority notification list. But thank you for tuning in. I will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.